Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. My name is Yilin from Peoplebank, and today I'm happy to join with Annie to talk about something that's on a lot of our minds, AI and the future work. When people hear about AI, the first reaction is often fear. Will my job still matter? Will I still be needed? The fear is real, and we're not going to pretend that it isn't. But what we really want to do today is move beyond the headlines and get into what's actually happening on the ground, how work is changing, what's improving, what's hard, and most importantly, how we can feel more prepared and confident going forward. So let's get started with the question that's probably on everybody's mind. So, Annie, from what you are seeing day to day, how is AI actually changing the way people work? For example, what's getting better and what are the real challenges that people are facing?
You are right, Yi. The fear is real and we hear it every day. When something that used to take 30 minutes in the past and now only take 1 minute, people usually pause and think about their current position in the company. But for what we're seeing this year, AI isn't really replacing people. It's redefining what kinds of thinking matter. Most of the conversation have moved from, will AI take my job? To what is my unique value contribution when AI does the first 80%. If you look at our daily work, there's three changes happening. Firstly, productivity is no longer about speed. It's about override. The real value isn't using AI, it's knowing when to challenge it. Great employee can spot AI blind spots. That's what mean by AI override competency. It's become very important in how we hire. Secondly, job expectation have flipped. 2 years ago, being AI really just meant knowing how to prompt. Today, it's mean knowing how to select, verify, and add human judge on top of AI output. Junior staff no longer learn by drafting, they learn by questioning AI draft. That's fundamentally changing their career progression. Lastly, continuous learning is no longer option. Skills evolve fast. We've seen teams over trusting AI shortcuts and losing the ability to problem solve from scratch. That's the hidden risk. Efficiency can look great in short term, but it can also cost us resilience later. So what's improving? Less admin, faster insight, and more time for high judgment work. If you ask me what are the real challenges, I would say not just skills gap, but overconfidence in AI, erosion of critical thinking, and pressure of always having to check and recheck AI's work. Beside that, the biggest mistake we see is companies roll out AI tools without resetting position expectation. The organization that win are not ones with the best AI. They use AI as a tool, very helpful, but always guided by human judge. So the questions for every leader today isn't how do we adopt AI? It's how do we keep our people smarter than the AI they work with?
Thank you, Annie. I think that point about AI not really replacing people, but changing how work gets done, I think that's very important. And especially what you said about the three things AI is doing, boosting speed, changing job expectations, and pushing continuous learning. And I hear you on the challenges too, the fear, the skill gaps, and the risk of over reliance. And that idea of rolling out AI without proper support. I think a lot of people in the audience have probably experienced that and are worried about it. So let's flip the script for a moment because every challenge also comes with the opportunity. So since we've talked about the fear and challenges, what about the upsides? I mean, what opportunities does AI actually create for our daily work, our careers, or even our personal growth?
Yeah, thanks, Yi. I like this question a lot, actually, because while fears gets talked about a lot, opportunity is what truly moves people forward. From where I see it as a people leader in Hong Kong, AI isn't just creating efficiency, it's creating time, confidence, and options. Let me give you two examples. First, daily work and careers are merging. Skills that one took years to build data analysts, report writing, even coding can now be picked up much faster than AI, with AI helping along the way. We're seeing junior staff confidently prepare board level presentation, not because that they have 10 years of experience, but because they know how to choose AI generated draft. That's distributing growth opportunity faster than any HR policy we've seen. And the same goes for all of us. When AI handle drafting, summarizing, and scheduling, we get back something we lost year ago. Time to step back and think, to mentor, and to build relationships. There's a huge difference between being busy and being productive. AI really gives us permission to choose the latter. Secondly, is career mobility, especially relevant for Hong Kong. In our fast-moving, talent-short market, AI lowers the hurdle of upskilling. Take, for example, a customer service representative can learn data storytelling, and HR generalists can produce workforce analytics. So AI doesn't take away career path. It actually opened up new ways to get started, and it really changed social mobility. And finally, it's very important for everyone, personal growth. This is the part I find more exciting. As AI become more efficient, humans can focus on what machines cannot do well. Even in this year, empathy, ethics, leadership, creativity, and accountability. AI can recommend, but it can't take responsibility. That's something only humans can do. So also AI forces us to ask a really good questions. If machine handle the thinking, so what do we focus on? And the answer is curiosity, compassion, and courage. So to me, AI isn't something to be afraid of. I can see it's an opportunity for us to upgrade ourselves.
Thank you. I really like the framing AI giving people back time, confidence, and options, especially the point that feeling genuinely productive versus just constantly busy. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. And more importantly, AI is a very good tool for us to gain the knowledge that we want to learn. That is very helpful. But if AI can do so much things, then what makes the human still irreplaceable? So, for example, when you are assessing candidates today, AI skills are becoming more and more common. But beyond that, what are the traits or qualities that will never be replaced by AI, and how can you develop those traits?
So I would say that we can't say never, but in the foreseeable future, there's a human trace. AI simply can't replace, but they are becoming more valuable, not less. AI give us you 10 different options, but it doesn't really understand real life trace off the knock-on effect or who has to take responsibility when things go wrong. So honestly, nowadays, someone willing to say no, this AI answer doesn't fit here. It's much more valuable than someone who simply accepts it. So AI can generate appropriate response in a chatbot. However, handling a team under stress, managing general relationship, and providing honest and caring feedback still require a human touch. So we refer to this as high stakes empathy. We all knew that AI evolves very quickly. However, it won't question whether we are addressing the right problem or what assumptions are embedded in this model. So the best candidate in the market don't just use AI. They will push back and they will question it. AI help us move very quickly, but we knowing when to stop or say no, they're still on us and take courage, and that's take our courage as well. So these things are actually quite hard to learn from course alone, but most of the learning comes from feedback, reflection, and being put into real high pressure situation. So working with different teams, making tough calls, and dealing with the outcome, both good and bad. So we don't build this skill overnight, but with AI changing everything, these are the ones that still matter long term. So I would say AI can give you answer, but it can't give you wisdom. That's still our job.
Yeah, I think judgment, emotional talent, curiosity, and values, That's a really solid list. And I appreciate that you didn't just list them, but also explain how we can build them. I think people always need to keep an open mindset in the age of AI. This is very important. And now let's talk about something that's very practical, especially for anyone who's job hunting right now. So we are seeing more and more candidates use AI for CVs, cover letters, and interview prep, which can be very smart. But what are the red flags you see, and how can candidates use AI in a way that helps them stand out for the right reasons?
So, using AI for CV, cover letters, and interview preparation isn't a bad thing. So, if you use well, it's actually smart. And nowadays, it's expected, everyone using that. But when you go back to the old days, traditional especially, CV is one of the main tools we use to market ourselves for job opportunities. So, the main warning sign we notice when AI is used for CV is it looked very polished, but don't really sound like the candidate because a lot of information may not be relevant to the candidate. So we can see that the language is smooth, the format is perfect, but when the interview asks, especially the interviewer questions some of the candidates, tell me more about that project. Then usually the candidate freeze. They may not be able to answer um, back to the interviewer. This is because AI handle the thinking process for them. So let AI take care of the heavy lifting for us. Take, for example, drafting, organizing, or summarizing. But when it comes to thinking, there's still our responsibility. There's no shortcuts, I would say. Another warning sign is achievement that underserved. I saw many candidates copy AI generated bullet points without the fact checking. We've seen lead a team of 10 from an internship without any solid experience. I would say that because of AI was streaming, they can't put a very good prompt, to ask for the feedback. There's more than just embarrassing after we review, have this information in the CV, but it also create a poor impression of the candidate. So what should candidates avoid from now? As a reminder, I would suggest that, don't just copy and paste without adding your unique context. Don't let AI speak for you. You still need to own the story. Don't skip verification. This is very important, especially fact check all numbers and job title, etc. So AI should amplify your voice, not replace it. The right way, use AI to structure your CV, catch blind spots, highlight strengths you underplayed, and practice interview questions, but then rewrite everything in your own words. If you use it correctly, AI can help you communicate more clearly and confidently, or while maintaining your unique voice. That is why what truly make the candidate stand out. For sure, AI can write your CV, but it can't answer if the interviewer asks you, why do you care about this job? So it's very important. This part is still on the candidates.
Yeah, I think loss of authenticity, that's such a good red flag. And I think a lot of people are also worried about that. The idea that your CV sounds like everyone else or that you can't explain your own experience in an interview, I think that's not adding any points to your job hunting process at all. So using AI to sharpen your thinking instead of replacing it. And I think that's a really good great rule of thumb. So now let's build on that because using AI well is one thing, but keeping up with how fast things are changing, that's a whole other challenge. So we all know AI tools are emerging fast and a lot of employees are trying to keep up. Everyone says upskill or get left behind, which can feel very overwhelming. And practically speaking, how should someone actually approach upskilling right now? Should they focus on technical AI tools or on human skills like communication and judgment? And how does someone figure out which one matters more for their specific roles?
Yeah, a lot of people, I also encountered that, want to upskill, but don't know how and where, to start. And that's completely normal because the tools are evolving faster than any training materials. Begin with one thing I would suggest, get comfortable, and then grow from there. For personal growth, choose one tool relevant to your daily job, such as ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Mantis, DeepSeek, or a specific industry AI. Use the selected tool for 1 week, then switch to another. Avoid trying to master everything at once, as this can cause frustration rather than proficiency. For position-specific upskilling, ask yourself which part of my job are speeding up and where does my boss expect me to think, not just produce. So I would like to share some of the straightforward guidelines. If your work involves a lot of execution, dedicate around 70% of your time to learning about the AI tools and 30% to human skill. If your position requires extensive judgment or managing people, think about adjusting your policies. Delegate around 70% of your effort to communication, decision making, and emotional intelligence. The people who become AI power user aren't the one who learned every new AI. They are wise enough to choose the right AI tools that let them stop doing routine tasks so they can do better at what only they as human can do. So my advice is here is very simple. If anyone feels overwhelmed, applying 70-30 framework, then upskilling suddenly become manageable and doable. Instead of asking, what should I learn more? It's better to ask, what tasks only I can do and how can I improve in performing them?
Yeah, I think that's a really good approach because every role is different. And now let's end with action because we've talked about a lot of concepts and the approaches. What mindset shifts or actions help people move from passive worry to active preparation in the age of AI?
I would say that firstly, shift your mindset. Shifting from thinking AI is just happening to me and asking, how can I work and learn with AI? It's that mindset shift from passive to curious, then really makes the difference. People who adopt well are the ones who explore, experiment, and don't just take AI's answer at face value. You can select one or two tools relevant to your daily tasks, use them in a simple ways to try things out, such as drafting emails, summarizing meeting, or brainstorming ideas. To me, it is not necessary to master all aspects initially. Also, critical thinking has become your safeguard in your career. Always question the output, don't just accept them. Ask yourself, do I agree? What's missing? Or how would I improve this? This will be the best employee approach nowadays and the one who catch what AI miss. So focus on building human strength like communication, judgment, empathy, and adaptability. You don't get these from a prompt or overnight. They grow through feedback, self-reflection, or facing tough situation. That's where real learning happens. So finally, maintain a habit of small, consistent learning. Spending around only, 5 to 10 minutes each day, like testing a new features or reviewing a demo case, can be quite effective. Consistency is also very important than intensity as it's helped reduce stress and build momentum. So at the end of the day, AI keep changing. The people who do well are the ones who stay curious, stay thoughtful, and keep growing with it. So I would say fear tends to freeze us. Curiosity, on the other hand, gets us moving. I'm completely certain that AI will transform every job here and everywhere beyond. So, however, curiosity remains the one skill that will never become outdated. This is my feedback.
Thank you. So AI is happening to me versus how can I work with AI? And I think that one shift changes everything. And I love that you ended with curiosity and willingness to evolve because none of us have all the answers about the future. And the tools will keep changing, but the people who stay curious, who experiment a little more, who ask better questions, I think those people are the ones who will be fine in the future. And thank you so much for sharing your insight today. And thank you to everyone in the audience for showing up and curious. And I hope you walk away feeling a little bit more prepared, a little more confident, and a lot less alone in figuring out the AI. So if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat box, and we will have colleagues to answer your questions. And we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.